You ever found yourself asking yourself, God, why am I going through all this? Why does my life have to be so hard? Why do I have to endure all of these things that some people don't even have to go through? God, why do I have to go through all this? Why does the world have to go through all this? Why does my family have to go through all this? And, I ask myself, or I ask God those questions all the time. And I begin to think on Exodus chapter 16, how God freed these people out of captivity and slavery. He used Moses to do so. And God showed love by freeing them, setting them free. These people were free. They were given a freedom that they never experienced before. And leading up to chapter 16, they started going through some trying times. And in chapter 16, they were starving. They hadn't been with food in a long time. And they began to think that God was no better than Pharaoh. They began to think that God was really trying to kill them. They couldn't understand the bigger picture. They couldn't understand that God was shaping them and molding them. And God still showed mercy. Even though these people hated God at this point, they despised him. They thought he was trying to kill them. He still showed mercy and rained down manna from heaven, which is bread. And that manna sustained them for over 40 years. And I began to think, man, I'm no different than them. God brings me through all these situations within my life. He takes me through and shapes me and molds me. And then I'm attacked by one situation, one thing. And I allow that to hinder my faith with God. And I shouldn't. But somehow I still do. And a lot of us do. And I say all that to say, don't allow the thing that you're going through hinder your faith with God. God isn't taking you through so much that you can't handle. You might be going through a hard time at the time. You might be going through some trying times at the time. But even though you might be going through those trying times, God still loves you. He still cares. And don't lose sight on all the things that God brought you out of. You might have been going through some hard times in the past, but you allowed this one thing, this one very hard thing to just gloss over everything that you've been through. And just don't allow the devil to take over your mind in that way. We got to be able to push past what we're going through at that time and be able to reflect on what God has brought us out of and say, okay, I'm going to keep pressing towards that mark of the high calling. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep pressing towards God. I'm going to keep seeking God and worshiping God and doing all these things for God. And, we just got to keep pressing. Don't lose faith in God. He still loves us. Even though we might be going through a hard time or something that's not comfortable at that time, we got to be able to understand that God is He's shaping us in a way. And even though it might not seem like it, we got to have that faith. Even though the people of Israel didn't really see that back then in Exodus chapter 16, God was shaping them, getting them ready for that promised land. And they couldn't see that at the time. And you want to be able to understand what God is doing for you so you can do the work of God. So you want to be able to do what God has called you to do. And I just want to be able to do these motivational videos more often, be able to inspire people to not give up on God. You might be going through a hard time, but don't forget that God is real. God loves you. God is not taking you through something just to kill you, but He might be taking you through something just to show you who He is, just to show you that He loves you. And, we just got to keep spreading love. There's nothing wrong with helping out those who might be going through those hard times. You might have went through that hard time, but they might be going through that struggle right now. So now you're able to help that person, help that brother, help that sister, allow them to grow from that situation like you did. So we just got to keep pressing, man. Just keep showing love, keep worshiping God, keep loving each other, and just give God all the glory because He deserves it. And we don't deserve any of it. We don't even deserve to be here, but God saw fit to die for us on that cross. And I just want to spread love. So I hope you enjoyed it and be on the lookout for more videos like these.